What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? And today I'm going to give a quick update on the Soul Reaver 1 and Soul Reaver 2 remastered that we could possibly still be getting as of this year or maybe in the next year of 2025. But however, I initially found out that they are still probably going to be getting remastered. But other than the fact that, as I previously mentioned, that these imminent remasters of, being a possibility is still going to be very influential. I think that this is really going to be interesting of how this is going to go. But as I previously mentioned in my previous video on this, is that there was a placard basically. There was like a statue with a Dark Horse and from Crystal Dynamics, and with a QR code, which you were saying that it was made by Dark Horse Comics, which was really cool as well. But other than that, I really think that when it comes to these games, that these games were very highly influential. Especially from the Blood on Men Legacy of Kain from PS1 to Legacy of Kain Defiance. And I think that these games are absolutely amazing, as I've always mentioned. And basically, this statue from this year's San Diego Comic-Con, it showed a statue of Raziel Kain in battle, which is going to be really cool as well because it was very indicated of what that placard was showing us, or showing everybody from that San Diego Comic-Con. Not only that, a lot of people really were derived by possibly the Soul Reaver 1 and Soul Reaver 2 remastered, which they did not were able to come fulfillment of the rumor of these imminent reveals of these remasters for these two games. So I think, but here's the thing. These games are still rumored to be remastered for today's modern consoles or maybe within the next newer generation. We don't know that for sure yet. But other than that, I still think that these games will eventually still get remastered at some point. And I really want to get an update on this because I think, like I previously mentioned, do not give your hopes up. With this series, that they were very, very highly popular amongst fans, amongst other gamers alike. And not only that, what I will say is that the rumors for these remasters for these two games have been basically rumored since November of 2022, which was a couple of years ago. And it was very interesting because of the fact that there was a survey out there that gauged the interest of maybe a possibly revival for the Legacy of Kain series. And hence the reason why we had this year's San Diego Comic-Con and showing us, like the QR code, the plaque, and the Raziel Kain in battle with that statue. It's so cool because I've seen the photos. And again, I want to go back to the survey thing, as I previously mentioned, because with the survey that they were able to do back in 2022, they had a lot of 1,000 positive calls feedback. Basically, it was a wide support. It was very groundbreaking, and basically the number from those types of that we've had from that survey were far exceeded by expectations. So my apologies on that one as well. So that was very interesting with the survey that they were able to initialize and show us through different types of format of social media. And I really think that's where I think that it is more 100% imminent that we will eventually get the remastered versions of Soul Reaver 1 and Soul Reaver 2. So, okay, so now since I got that out of the way, I really want to talk about Soul Reaver 1 and Soul Reaver 2 because while the series as a whole, for me, Blood of Men Legacy of Kain was my very first game in the series. Never played it before. It was so captivating when I started playing it for the very first time, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed it from beginning to end, and I'm just like, this is the reason why I got into console gaming. And basically, it's the reason why I got into gaming in the first place, amongst from, like the Ultimate Doom back in 1993 or 1994 on PC. But other than that, I think when it came to the Legacy of Kain franchise, from Blood of Men to Soul Reaver 2, Blood of Men to Legacy of Kain, and Legacy of Kain Defiance, these games were very groundbreaking for their time. It was the story-driven narrative. It was the character progression along with the series as a whole. And it was basically the whole entire structure of the whole entire game series as a whole as well. And it was not just because of the series itself. It was the fact of the characters that you were able to meet with certain types of protagonists. You know, like playing as Kane and Blood Omen 2 and Blood Omen 1, and then playing as Raziel in Soul Reaver 1 and Soul Reaver 2. And then in Defiance, we played as Raziel and Kane. And it showed off very implementations of why this series was so highly popular. It was the world. The world of these games were astoundingly fantastic. I have never seen a game series that did so many things right when it came to storytelling, world building, character progression, and it was the fact that it was not just about vampires. It was more on the lines of humanity. It was more on the lines of dignity, you know, playing as Raziel or playing as Kane. And it was the fact that these games were so good ahead of their time. And they were. And it's the reason why this game is still, or this series as a whole, is exceeded far more expectations from a lot of people. And it's fascinating, and that's another one of the big reasons why I love this series so much. And while I will go back to this one more time, I really think that we need these remasters, because I think other than having remasters of Soul Reaver 1 and Soul Reaver 2, but I think, in all honest opinion, it would be more beneficial if we were to get possibly an HD collection instead, rather than getting the remasters for Soul Reaver 1 and Soul Reaver 2. But however, I still think getting the remasters for Soul Reaver 1 and Soul Reaver 2 are very important to get anyways, in my personal opinion. And I'm not saying that the other games in this series weren't important as well. They were, because like I said again, from Blood Omen 1 and then to Defiance, these games were the pinnacle of their time. They were the best of their time as well. And it's the reason why this series as a whole has grown such accommodation when it comes to gaming in general, and when it comes to the gaming industry. When it came to the gaming industry, when these games initially came out, these games were like freaking highly worldly popular. So again, I will love to see the remasters if they 100% legit. But anyways, too much further ado, this is Jake from Citizen JV. Thank you for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Any comments or questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. And you guys have a good rest of your week. Peace, guys.